I am meeting today with Kelly, who is the dietitian that I am working with in regards to finding out about my intolerances, and my results are sitting right here. I'm not going to lie, I have had a little chance to digest this. Kelly sent me an email this morning with where I came out on the scales, but we're going to sit together today and try and work out how I can, overcome them. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Or just deal with it in the best way possible.
Heal the gut, gain the back. Hi guys, I'm Kelly Schmidt, and I'm helping Simone heal her gut and understand what's inflaming her body. So you mentioned your skin and digestion, just overall that you're feeling your peak best, because we all deserve that. So I sent her a test by KBMO. She pricked her finger, put it in the mail. I get the results, and now we go over them. Everything's ranked in a 4+, 3+, 2+, and that's the degree of the worst foods that are affecting your immune system and body on a scale. So 4+ is red, orange, yellow. Let me actually step back.
Okay.
Food sensitivities are different than a food allergy. You eat something, if you're allergic to eggs, you would likely have a reaction within an hour of consuming that food. Food sensitivities, the reaction can show up 72 hours later.
Okay.
And according to nutrition studies and research, a lot of people have a hard time even thinking about what they ate yesterday, let alone 2 days ago. So this, again, helps really pinpoint the problem, because food sensitivities are pretty sneaky. The biggest insult is egg whites. And I asked you, what are things you typically eat? And you said most breakfasts you start off with an egg white scramble or whatnot.
Yes.
And one of my philosophies as a functional dietitian is to eat whole real food, right? And we all strive to do that. But I really, criticize when we try to dissect nature. And one of those things is if we try to trim the fat on yogurt or cottage cheese or cheese, I would say eat the full fat. All those fat-soluble vitamins are in the whole full fat form. But also eggs, we shouldn't dissect an egg. The yolk actually helps our body digest the white, and a lot of people are sensitive to the egg white, more so than the yolk. And the egg white can be inflammatory. It's a great source of protein, but it needs bundled with its other part, the yolk, to help digest it. But also the yolk has 80+ vitamins and minerals, and it's one of the Mother Nature's best multivitamins. So calorically, it's kind of looking at food. Yes, calorically, but also its proteins needs and the macros, like its protein and fat if you're eating the whole thing. But gaining health is all about how food's affecting your hormones, not how food fits into a calorie profile. I think you can gain that back. I think you can heal your gut and be able to tolerate it in the future. But my recommendation would be do your best for the next 3 to 4 months and strip it out. Yeah, strip.
Is that eggs in general?
Eggs in general. And that's eggs baked in things. It's mayonnaise, it's aioli, some salad dressings have eggs in it. So it's becoming a bit of a detective and understanding where it really exists when you're eating out and more.
Today I said, as long as it's not coffee, red wine, or eggs would be good. Eggs. Check.
Yeah. A lot of people, another thing on here that you have is turmeric and garlic. Some people can pinpoint garlic. That's bothering them because usually when you're sensitive to garlic, it's pretty prominent symptom. Mm-hmm. But turmeric would be really hard to detect. I had spinach on mine.
Oh, really?
Right? It's like, don't eat
could be worse.
Yeah.
Okay. I was expecting onion to be up the same because garlic, peppers, onions, I don't know.
With food sensitivity, there's cross-reactivity. So garlic actually gets cross-reactivity. What it means is this is the food that you were triggered for in the lab that we tested, but also that it's very likely that you may react to the cross-reactivity food that's very similar. So if I'm sensitive to a white potato, it's a fair chance I'm going to be sensitive to a red potato. Okay. If you're sensitive to garlic, it's very possible you're going to be sensitive to onions, leeks, asparagus, and aloe vera. Interesting.
So also on this note, with working with Kelly, I also get access to an app. So all of my information is on that app. So all of these likely foods, so garlic, for example, and then asparagus, onion, everything that you just rattled off, I can see that on the app. Also with things like with the eggs, I can see what other products are they're most commonly in so that I can start to eliminate them from my diet or just be more focused on where I'm getting my foods from. So I thought that was a really cool bonus of doing that.
But yeah, it's a pretty easy, straightforward app. So egg whites was your +4. So that means it's the biggest insult on your body, followed up by cow's milk and egg yolk. So again, avoid the egg entirely for 3 months. Cow's milk. I am dairy-free and gluten-free. My daughter's celiac. My son is severely sensitive to cow's milk. I actually did this on my son. Anyone the age of 2 or older can do this. Avoiding cow's milk. Do you eat dairy?
I do not.
Okay,
no.
So you're warmed up to that. It is a hard transition. I don't know if you remember.
And when I say I don't, this is an overshare, but we can edit this out. Just kidding. Bloopers. So when I did my fitness shows a few years ago, because I had no whey or no dairy through that time, as soon as it was done, like a week later when I was eating properly again, all I wanted was ice cream. So Scott and I went out for ice cream. And that minute, like the minute I finished, I had just like the worst pains. Like I had to be hunched over. Like I don't know if I'm going to be sick or go to the toilet. I don't know what I need to do. And because I just felt so awful that night, I just haven't touched it since. In saying that, if I'm at someone's house and there's like a salad and it's got like a bit of feta on it, I will still eat that salad knowing that it's a little bit. But now looking at this, knowing that it has come up so high, I'm probably going to be a little bit more attentive to that.
And another thing you're going to say, so let's say you're at someone's house and there's feta on the salad. So because this has cow's milk, the test also tests goat's milk. So feta's authentically goat, but you might tolerate those things fine, where cows you don't.
Interesting.
So
let me record that. So feta I'm good with. I'm going to have to do my research here.
But authentic feta, because in America it's all about making a margin. So it's about the quality feta and sheep cheese, goat cheese. So we had eggs, dairy, and then casein. So casein is one of the protein structures in dairy. So there's whey, casein, and lactose. Well, lactose is the sugar, but those are the 3 parts of dairy people are sensitive to. So you're sensitive to the whole gamut of cow's milk, but also casein, because casein can show up in like sausages and other mainly meat products. So
I'm good there then.
So just be wary. You're sensitive to wheat and gluten, and you've been avoiding those for years.
Fabulous.
Right?
No, I haven't really.
Really?
I don't eat a lot of packaged foods, so I don't eat a lot of bread. I don't eat a lot of pasta. That's not something that I typically cook at home. But in saying that, when I first looked, and I'm not going to lie, I only looked at the red section when Kelly sent me through the plan, and I was like, egg whites. I'm like, ugh. And I was going out for breakfast or brunch with a friend this particular day. So I was like, okay, perfect. I'll order avocado on toast. And then I looked further, and gluten and wheat is on there. So
have you ever noticed if gluten, you're not eating it very often?
I don't eat it often, to be honest. And I guess I did notice bloating.
Or do you drink beer?
I don't.
Do you ever drink beer? Or soy sauce, like sushi?
No, I use liquid aminos.
Yeah, me too. They're so much better.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
It's so much more flavorful. You need less. So I don't think gluten's going to affect me a whole lot in regards to cutting it out, except for obviously when you're eating out and you just need to pay special attention to. And crackers. I do enjoy like crackers and hummus. So
are those crackers usually rice-based, or are they usually like a whole
rice-based?
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll still be good.
Yeah.
It's just, like I say again, when you go to people's houses, which is
often in the summer.
I normally do bring something anyhow. So.
Right. Step number 1, bring something you can eat.
Exactly.
And if you have no other option, only eat that.
Yeah.
Step number 2, put snacks in your purse and eat in the bathroom.
Too right.
So gluten, so this will cross-contaminate with other grains. Obvious one, so any form of gluten would be wheat. I think a lot of people know that. But it's also barley, rye, and non-certified oatmeal.
Okay, so that was my question about oatmeal.
Yeah. So you can still eat it, but get certified gluten-free. When I first went gluten-free, I was very lenient on like going to brunch and just getting the oatmeal, or I would just buy the big canisters of Quaker Oats until I pulled that switched that out, I felt amazingly different. I just felt like 10 pounds off my shoulders when I made that small tweak with just the certified gluten-free oats. But one thing, myself included, when someone's sensitive to gluten and wheat, the protein structure of gluten looks a lot like the protein structure also found in other grains, especially quinoa. I do not tolerate quinoa as if it were gluten. So just because you're flagged for gluten, it doesn't mean, hey, strip that out for 3 solid strict months and go bonkers. I would avoid gluten, but if you've had quinoa, just pay attention how your anxiety, like mental health is, how your insomnia, sleep may be. Food sensitivities aren't just affecting our digestion. It's so much more. It's skin, and a lot of it's mental health that really people aren't paying attention to at all. So just know that with gluten, be very analytical of other grains. And then just be strict on gluten-free oats. But gluten-free oatmeal might be a perfect breakfast for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the eggs and gluten and dairy.
Right.
So there goes a lot of yogurts, there goes a lot of omelets. Or I would suggest like a veggie. I know you don't do much red meat, but like some sort of breakfast sausage scramble. I really like the brands Welshire, Applegate.
Yeah, I've heard of Applegate.
I'm trying to think of other names.
They're the skin-free, right? Or the no casein on them?
Yeah. But they're also there's no chemicals. Like when you're analyzing any breakfast sausage, a lot of people are like, oh, breakfast sausage and bacon are so bad for you. They're not, especially if it's like a leaner bacon based on the health of the animal. But you want to make sure there's no chemicals, there's no nitrates. We don't need those. You can have celery salt to preserve those breakfast meats. But Applegate, Welshire, they're from pasture-raised, free-range, organic animals, so the quality of the animal is good, but they also don't add in the chemicals that can be often found in breakfast meat. You also have pears on here. The thing to analyze as well would be apples.
Apples are definitely up. It's got to be.
So we have pear, the apple, and then the next 3 are pretty tricky. It sounds like you map out your meal plans pretty well by the week, eat home more often than not, so you can control this. But garlic and onion, those are in everything from guacamole at Chipotle to, just
hummus, which is what I live off.
Yeah.
I make my own, but I always add garlic.
Yeah. Chili pepper, this one, it looks pretty innocent, but it's going to be hard. It's peppers. It's all forms of peppers. Green peppers, bell peppers, jalapeno, poblano, etc. And turmeric. Turmeric, a lot of people are like, oh, I need to take turmeric. I take a turmeric supplement for inflammation every day. But there's a population, and you're not the only one that don't tolerate turmeric. So that's talking through your food sensitivities. And usually when people have 7 or more food sensitivities, that's an indication you have a form of a leaky gut. And with that, it's usually, okay, let's make sure we're taking this seriously. And you sound pretty disciplined like you would. You sound very motivated. But with that, you need to I need to raise my hand and make sure you are very graceful with this process. Because this is not meant to stress you out, and stress hurts the gut. So it's a little chicken and the egg. So do the best you can and take this on slowly. I would recommend a supplement called activated charcoal.
Yes.
So I take activated charcoal every time I drink alcohol. Alcohol is full of fillers, food dyes, colors, sugar, pesticides, herbicides, like gnarly stuff. And alcohol does create a little bit of a leaky gut naturally because of the alcohol is a poison. Dare I use that word because it's so enjoyable to our body. So I always take 2 pills of activated charcoal. So if you're like, I'm eating out, there's going to be garlic. There's probably going to be a sprinkle of garlic. I would, no matter what, every time you're eating out, take 2 activated charcoal. But never take those around medication, and never take those around other vitamins because they'll bind to those. So you want to take it like a 3-hour window away from those things. So that's food sensitivity. And now let's talk about how to heal your gut.
Yeah.
And again, stress management. And stress management, usually number 1 is make sure you're prioritizing sleep. As adults, even though we're not children, we need a bedtime routine to help that wind down. And hopefully your quality of sleep is getting better because these are being pulled out. But you mentioned, I don't know your whole medical history, but you mentioned sleep's a hard thing to come by. I would take 400 to 500 milligrams of magnesium before bed. In my nightstand, it's funny, it looks like a miniature pharmacy, and I tell my clients this too, but I have melatonin if I'm tossing and turning for too long. I have magnesium I take no matter what, and I have a probiotic. So it's good to take a probiotic on an empty stomach before bed. So it sits in you overnight, helps that inflammation.
Never taken at night, but there you go.
How often, and I don't know how transparent it's going to be with all these questions, but how often are you like working out? Are you working out every day?
Yeah.
How many hours?
No, an hour max.
Okay,
Most days.
Good. I may suggest, and it's so hard, like I did it today and I feel a little crankier because of it, but have a day off. Do you have many days off?
I wouldn't say many, but I do take a rest day.
Good.
Maybe once a week or.
Yeah. I would try to make sure you're doing a rest because working out is inflammatory. It breaks down our tissue and it's hard on the gut. Do you usually wake up, have a snack, hit the gym, and then eat again? Have you ever tried fasted workouts?
Yes, when I'm just doing cardio.
Yeah.
When I'm lifting, not so much.
Yeah, true. So it's about a comfort level, but one thing I would suggest to you have so Simone sent me her typical intake. So she has a wake up, snack, post workout, food, breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, supplements. So if you bundle the amount of times you eat to fewer sittings in the day, so if someone's trying to heal their gut, assuming they don't have some form of adrenal fatigue, because if you have adrenal fatigue, when you're just really deflated, you need to eat every few hours. But if we're trying to heal your gut, I would suggest to find a way to eat 3 to 4 times a day max.
Okay.
Because if you aren't having these small frequent meals and you bundle these meals together, one, it's easier to lose weight. Again, I know that's not your thing, but I'm sure it's your audience.
Yeah.
It's easier to lose weight. But 2, it gives your gut a break. And when we space our food 3 to 4 to 5 hours apart, we stimulate something called a migrating motor complex. And that's kind of house cleaning in our body. And those breaks can help your cells, clean up the dead cells that are turning over constantly, but also have your digestion run more effectively. But L-glutamine. L-glutamine, have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I used to have it in with my
In your food?
general stack, yeah.
The L-glutamine is kind of like Neosporin on the gut. It also zaps sugar cravings and alcohol cravings. So that's good too. It helps manipulate neurotransmitters, telling the brain like that craving's been fulfilled. But I would take L-glutamine with every meal.
With every meal?
Yeah. And I would take up to 1,000 milligrams. Probiotic, I would recommend if you're not eating a probiotic, like kimchi, kefir, it's another good probiotic, pickles, like non-pasteurized pickles. So L-glutamine, heal the gut, help cravings, probiotic to refurbish the good gut bugs, to reduce inflammation in your bugs and help the gut heal. It's so important to focus on inflammation and ongoing gut support. If you have an autoimmune disease, you no matter what have some form of a leaky gut, and you need to support it with eating real food, but also supplements because we live in a very stressful, modern, fast-paced world. Another really important good gut healer is a good fish oil as well. So this one I have here is DHA dominant. So fish oil is made up of omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s, a lot of people know as EPA and DHA. DHA is really good for mental health and mood. EPA is really good for inflammation, but you can't really go wrong if you get a good brand of fish oils. But again, be very graceful, be very patient, find other fun foods. Use this as an opportunity to explore.
Yeah. As long as I can still have my gluten-free oats, I'll be good because that's an easy breakfast.
Yeah. And because you meal plan, do you meal plan every week or for like the month?
Every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can repeat the meals 7 days.
Yep.
But because you have a form of leaky gut, it would be a stretch to repeat them every day, but I know how easy that is and realistic it is. But the following week, I would change up the ingredients because your gut, it's very fragile right now. So if you're repeating the same stuff, it could be picking up another +2.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I foresee eggs being the biggest problem, and if you're pulling those out, healing your gut, I'm sure you can gain some of this back.
Okay.
And so that would be a matter of reintroducing one of these every 3 days in about 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
One caveat, gluten's hard to gain back. There's such an immune response when people are sensitive to gluten. So that might be one.
Eggs I would like to see back in my diet, but
Yeah.
obviously not to the extreme that I have them now.
Yeah.
And whole eggs.
I think just pull it out for 3 months, and I bet you can gain it back.
Okay.
But I'd bring it back as a whole food.
Yeah.
What questions do you have, and how do you feel about this?
I feel good. I feel excited. I like that it kind of will spark some creativity.
Yeah.
But most things on here are packaged, and I'm really trying to steer away from that anyway. So, like breads and muffins and baked goods and things like that, it's not something that I'm going to miss a lot of. So I honestly feel pretty good about it. I'm excited to try some new things. I used to take a powdered probiotic by Don Chisholm. I read a really good book about his, and it completely changed my mindset on everything. So I'm excited to bring them back and remember how good it feels. And then my last point is, like, I consider myself fairly healthy, probably healthier than most in regards to my food intake. And it's just like I already feel pretty good. It was my skin that was breaking out, and I just wasn't feeling 100 every single day, and that's why I got in touch with Kelly. But it's like I know how some people feel, and they have no idea how it feels to feel healthy. Like they have no idea of how good life can be and how much energy they can have, and just like
have a natural glow.
And and so this like motivates me to find that again and do that again. Yeah. So I can do it.
You can, and just go slow. Embrace your pace is what I tell everyone. Embrace your pace.
Yeah. If you slip up, not you.
Yeah. I do.
And then, are you then like, okay, and then you have to restart your 3 months again?
No.
Or are you just like, be cautious of how you feel at that point?
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Really good question. So
I'm going to do my best.
Let's say you have eggs. Like, I mean, there are days when I'm just like, F it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not eating gluten because that will like destroy me. But if it's eggs and you have it, I would say right away take activated charcoal.
Okay.
That evening, double up probiotics, and the next few days, double up glutamine.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
The eggs are hard, but a lot of us are sensitive to eggs. I think it's 1 out of 4 or 5 people are sensitive to eggs. There's a lot of people. But also get really creative with smoothies.
Yeah, I love my smoothies, so that's going to be a fun one to play with. Really bulk them up.
Yeah.
Super smoothie, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, but have fun. You can do this, and I'm Kelly Schmidt Wellness. I'm just one person. You can tap back in and ask questions, and I can help steer you. And
thank you.
Why not?
Appreciate it. Yeah. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
It was fun. I love doing this. This is like my favorite thing to do with people.
Yeah.
Because it really helps grab the low-hanging fruit and create change.